Hey, welcome back to my studio where you are always more than welcome. A few weeks ago, I received the most heartwarming, wholesome DM I've ever received in my inbox. Big shout out to Michael, Fritz and family for sending me this. Hello, I just want to let you know that my family, especially my son and daughter, both aged 7, absolutely love watching your videos. It has become a family tradition to watch one of your videos every night before bed. I'm hoping one day soon to have them try to make a ring of their own. Thank you for making such great videos. Thank you for sending such awesome DMs. Big shout out to Michael, Fritz and family. So, the last few weeks I've been racking my brain thinking what sort of tutorial I can make where not only the adults can get involved with making some cool bits of jewellery, but it's something that also you could make with the little ones as well. And so in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make one of these awesome marbled polymer clay inlay rings. So this was a really cool, fun project that you could do at home. It doesn't require any power tools and no real special equipment. You will of course need some polymer clay and a few other basic bits, but I've put links to all of those down in the description. You'll also need some ring blanks or ring cores. I've also put links in the description to those as well. So I hope that this project inspires you, and I hope that you get stuck in and get your hands dirty, and it'd be amazing to get the little ones involved as well. And perhaps there's something that you could have fun doing in an afternoon during half term or the Christmas holidays or lockdown, whatever. I just hope you have some fun. And if you do make a ring like this, then please, I'd love to see your work. So hit me up on Instagram at Zabrano Woodcraft or Facebook at Zabrano Woodcraft. And yeah, just have fun, be creative, and I'll see you at the end of the video. Okay, so before we get started, let's quickly talk about the tools and materials that I used to make these Fimo clay or polymer clay inlay rings. Obviously, the first thing you're going to need is some sort of polymer clay. Now I sent my girlfriend off up to Hobbycraft to buy some polymer clay, and she came back with all these different types. So I thought I'd just quickly show you what I think is best to use and what sort of things are actually available. The brand I chose was Fimo. I'm going to go with Fimo because at the end of the day, you don't log in to watch your Amazon Prime, you know what I mean? But Fimo comes in lots of different colours and a few different varieties. Danny actually came back with some of this stuff, which is Fimo Professional, which to be honest I found was a bit hard. Here's a lump of it, and it's quite difficult to use. It really takes a lot to kind of soften it up, and is quite intensive on the old grip strength. There's also this stuff, Fimo Leather Effect, which I honestly have no idea how to use it, what it is, what happens when it's baked, but I'm sure we can experiment with that in the future. But the clay I would recommend is the Fimo Soft. I've also got some of this stuff, Fimo Effect, which seems like the Fimo Soft, but like there's like a gold and a silver, so I think they're like metallic colours. They come in all sorts of different colours, and I've already had a little bit of an experiment before. So, I mean, got some nice kind of blues and a white colour, which is what I'm going to use to make the kind of marbled, oceany, water looking effect. So yeah, in summary, Fimo Soft is the easiest one to use, and you can get these in all sorts of different colours from your local hobby store or from the links in the description. A cool thing I discovered about polymer clay is that it's not actually water-based, it's oil-based. So, I mean, I've been storing my open and leftover clay in, these plastic containers, but that's not even necessary because they don't dry out if you leave them. So you can store them just in like plastic zip bags Or I mean, I've got tons of these tubs from where we get takeaways or, you know, ready meals or something. So I just chuck them in there for ease of use. And the second main ingredient to make one of these cool inlay rings is actually the ring blanks themselves. These come from various different places. If you're in the UK, I recommend Ringcraft UK for all of your ring blank needs. Or if you're in the US, then just go to ringsupplies.com and you can find all sorts of cool ring blanks. So here are a few examples of some ring blanks that you can get online. I mean, you can also just search on Etsy. Just type in ring blanks and you'll find all sorts of different ones. So this one here is like a two-piece ring blank of steel, I think, which comes apart. These are not my favorite, but this is probably the one I'll be using for this tutorial, just because I've got them kicking around. There's also like these cool, I think this is like a black ceramic with a single inlay, which I think would look really nice. Maybe we can have a play around with that as well. And then there's other kind of different types of metal. I think this is just like an anodized titanium or something maybe, or tungsten. Or there's these ones which is a titanium with a dual inlay channel. So again, if you're looking for ring blanks, I'll chuck the links in the description. Basically, the links to all the tools and all the materials will be in the description. Alright, so you'll also need some basic tooling to make these rings. And the cool thing is that you don't need any like power tools or anything too complicated. Like I said, I wanted this to be a project that you can do with the kiddos if you wanted to. So I've got a work surface here. This is just like a cutting mat. It's not ideal. So what I did is I took like a pack of shreddies and I cut a square out of it and then covered that in just some baking paper just to make like a non-stick surface, but you could also use some like a tile or some kind of like a ceramic tile or a glass plate. But this is what I've got a shreddies packet covered in some baking paper. You'll also then need like a rolling pin. So I've got this. This is just like an offcut of some PTFE round bar, which I'm aware probably not everyone has got one of these lying around. So you can either use just like one of the plastic like HDP rolling pins, or if you're really desperate, you can use like a glass bottle, but just be careful, not to smash the bottle and have an accident. And then just some basic cutting and measuring tools. Like people use these swanky like blades. I don't have a blade, so I've just got like one of these plastic triangle ruler things. What are these called? A protractor? I might have to Google that. I'm going to Google that. Aha! I was right. It turns out they're just called triangle rulers. But I don't know what that is. I've got like a sharp craft knife, so just be careful with these if you're using it with the children. Another idea for a rolling pin, just like this is just like a plastic brush handle. And then I've just got, some other various little bits, scissors and stuff. Nothing too mental. So hopefully, as you can see, you won't need anything crazy complicated or expensive to make cool little rings like these. And so in this tutorial I'm going to go through and I'm going to make another one of these marbled, I don't know what to call it, a marbled polymer clay inlay ring? Or maybe we can call it something super pretentious like a heart of the ocean ring. The only other things you'll need to make your rings are an oven, which most people have in their kitchen, and some kind of like a dish or a tray to bake the rings on. To bake my clay, I used a plate that I'd actually took a chip out of just to get some use out of it. And what I would say is I read on the Cooks and Gold website that if you use any items for baking clay or preparing clay, then you shouldn't use the same items for food preparation in the future. So it's always good just to, you know, use stuff that is kind of disposable or already broken, like in my case. Alright, so let's get cracking. I've got my ring blank ready. I've got my Fimo clays. So I'm going to start off with a little strip of this one, which is called Emerald. I literally will just take probably just like one of these little slices there, just to have a play around with. It's pretty easy to chop up initially. Should probably use the sharper knife really. It doesn't really matter. So we've got one blob of emerald. This one is called Peppermint. We'll have a blob of peppermint as well. So to make my marbled effect, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the emerald and the peppermint first, and then we'll add the white later. So look, I'll just literally just take these, just give them a little twiddle with my fingers just to warm them up a little bit, and then twist. Whoop. Twist him all the way down. So make like a nice twisted sausage. You can see the colours have already kind of mixed up a little bit. And then fold it over. Flatten them out a little bit. And then I'm going to twist them again, but from this side. Here we go. And that'll really mix together the colours really nice to make these lovely lines. And if we just flatten them out again a little bit, you can start to see it's become like a tiger striped worm kind of thing. Then I'll twist them in half again. And then twist. So basically I'm going to fold and twist it 3 times. Then I'm going to take a bit of this white, take a nice chunk of that. I'll roll this out into a sausage. I've kind of contaminated her a bit there with the blue colours off my fingers, but that doesn't matter too much because we're going to marble them together. Okay, and then so if I put this next to the sausage, just bang it on there, whatever. There we go. Alright, now we're going to twist this. Just twist them up, however. There we go. Looking good. Fold it again. Look, there's method to my madness, alright? This will look cool eventually. So I think those colours look really beautiful. You can see it kind of looks oceanic in a way, like waves. So what I'm going to do, now I'm going to put this onto my sheet of paper, and then put just a piece of baking paper over the top. I'm going to roll it out. Can you see that? Focus! There we go. I think those colours look absolutely beautiful. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this out a bit thinner. You can also see this is like stuck to the paper a little bit as well. A bit chaotic, but that's all good. Yeah, oh, it looks nice. It looks so nice. Basically, I want to get this like as thin as I possibly can. Some people use like swanky, like pasta rollers to get their polymer clay really, really thin. But I don't have one. I've got a chunk of PTFE. Work with what you've got, do what you can, start where you are. Yeah, looks really good. Wow, the colours look so nice. I'm really happy with the way that looks. It's nice and thin. Now then, let's take a little slice of this clay and make it into an inlay for the ring. So I've got my ring blank here. What I'm going to do, because there's no real way to measure this stuff precisely. It doesn't need to be precise, that's the cool thing. So I'm just going to take the ring and I'm just going to roll it into the clay there, just to get like a rough idea of how much you need. So you see those two lines? And a cup within those two lines, right? Basically you want it to be much thinner at this stage. Don't need to be as wide as the inlay channel, if that makes sense. So let's do a little cut there. All will become apparent. So I got me a strip of inlay material. Does it fit in the ring? Yes, it does. All right. So I probably should have rolled this out thinner, but it doesn't matter because it's polymer clay and it's marbled, so it's very, very forgiving. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just remove a little bit, and I want more of like the kind of white elements in there just to break up the contrast. We'll stick that in, and you can be pretty messy at this stage, to be fair. Right, let's chuck that in just like this. Right, it looks like a mess at the moment, but yo, we're gonna do some magic and make this fit perfectly into the inlay channel. Right, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take this glass bottle. I'm just going to roll the ring around the outside of the glass bottle, which will squidge all the clay into the inlay channel and kind of make sure it's a really nice fit. So just keep doing this basically. It's really flattened out already, so we just keep going. Every now and again I'll just remove some of the excess clay. The cool thing is about this is that the metal collars of this ring blank will actually like chop the right amount of clay off for you as you roll it. So look, it's looking like a mess at the moment, but it'll get there, I promise. It will look cool. It will look cool. I'll also take these excess off the bottle as well. Just scrape that off. Yeah, looks lots of big blobs coming off now. So I think it's coming along pretty nice. It's not exactly perfect yet. You can see there's like this one bit that's bulging, but that'll be sorted out. And then there's this other area like here, which is pretty boring, I think, doesn't have much going on. So I'm going to add in a little bit more white into there and carry on with the rolling. I'm really happy with that. It's kind of got like a nice kind of agate-y sort of vibe to it. That's great. The colours are really lovely. It's not exactly perfect, but that's fine because we're going to go back over after it's been baked and do some sanding and kind of shine it up and make it look really nice. So that's cool. What I might do before baking it is just have a go with one of these black ring cores and just see what that looks like as well. Initiate the super fast clay ring making montage. So with all the shaping done and the inlays in, it's time to bake the rings. So I baked them as per the instructions on the packet, which says to bake them at 110 degrees Celsius or 230 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. I may have mentioned earlier, I baked mine on a plate that I'd already chipped. I don't think there's any worry about the plate exploding or anything in the oven. This is only at 110 degrees. If you do use anything from your kitchen to bake the rings, then it's probably best not to use them for food preparation if the Fimo clay has come into contact with the surfaces. What I like to do after the 30 minutes is turn off the oven and allow the rings to cool down slowly, and then you can take the rings out and admire your handiwork. Shake and bake! Alright, rings are at the oven and they are nice and hard. Basically what I'm going to do is now sand them with some grits of wet and dry sandpaper, starting with the lowest grit first, so 320, 400, I've got a 600 grit, I'll work up to a 1200 grit, just to get rid of any fingerprints or, you know, any kind of nasty marks or anything, and just give them a nice smooth feel. I'm using wet and dry with some water so it keeps the dust down. Then you don't have to worry about getting dust all over your house. And it's nice and safe. Keeps the dust away, keeps your lungs healthy. So that is the end of the project. I think that these rings look absolutely awesome. I really love the marbled effect, and it kind of reminds me of, you know, like an ocean scene, which I think is really cool, but the possibilities for polymer clay are endless. So, you know, you could get creative, lots of different colors or patterns, or even different, you know, techniques like makumagane. And I'd love to see your work, so please do hit me up by sending me a message either on Facebook or Instagram at Zabrana Woodcraft. There are links to everything I used, like the ring blanks and the tools and the Fimo clay, in the description. And I hope that this one has inspired you to get nice and creative. I hope the little ones get involved as well. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Whoosh.